How you doing, YouTube Nation? I would like to share a message today in regards to the power of forgiveness and how I was able to utilize that to maintain like a level of peace within my life and to not be at the mercy of circumstances, so to speak, and just to be able to have more control over my day. In this regard, it's in relation to the death of my father and how that situation was something that would initially it was a situation that kept me down and kept me in a state of sadness and depression. And then I was able to flip that situation into a more positive situation for me as far as just being triggered by different things. Like my father, he drove a green SUV. And every time I would see this green SUV, it was something that would trigger me. And then I was able to flip it into a situation where when I would see a green SUV and or I was getting triggered by other scenarios in relation to him, I would, ask God to forgive me uh, for not doing the things that I promised I was going to do when my father was here, and just being able to identify that guilt in relation to not doing the things that we were supposed to do, and identifying that guilt and just being able to pray on that guilt, like, Lord, can you help me to release this guilt that I'm feeling in relation to my father? We didn't do all the things that we promised we were going to do, and I'm feeling a lot of guilt. Can you help me release this guilt? And this is one of the ways that I was able to, utilize forgiveness, and is through death and just being able to, forgive myself for not doing all the things that I wanted to do with my father, and just forgiving myself for not doing the things that I wanted to do with my children and my father, and just the guilt and the depression and the sadness that's associated with that, and just being able to, forgive myself and forgive him for maybe not being more aggressive about the relationship as well. And just forgiving people and just getting in that power of forgiveness. It's in Matthew 21. How many times should I forgive my father? Is it 7 times or 70 times? But it might not be necessarily the same scenario. But it's just the power of just being able to forgive people. And that's something that, I utilize a lot of times in a lot of different scenarios. Sometimes it's through death, sometimes it's um, through breakups. Just going through a breakup and just having to, put on a forgive fest in order to get back into my state of peace. And it's just, there's just something about that power of forgiveness, and it's a tool that allows me to not necessarily be at the mercy of my circumstances, but to just be able to gain more control of my day and just not forfeit my peace, to, triggers and, death and breakups. And, it's just a tool that I like to use. Anytime I'm in a position that, I can forgive something or somebody, it's something that I take advantage of, and it's something that allows me to maintain a level of peace that, I definitely don't take for granted. And it's something that I would like to share with people. And I just felt prompted to want to share this little piece of a gem, and hopefully, it can help you the way that it helped me. It's something that I utilize on a daily basis for many, many things, and hopefully, me sharing this will help somebody else, and hopefully we'll keep it going, and we'll just try to keep the positive energy going as we experience this pandemic, and we're just going through so many different negative things. We need to be able to maintain a level of peace, and I think that anytime we can find a creative way to apply forgiveness, it's always going to be a victory. And my name is Alfonso, and I thank you for your time and your positive energy. Sincerely.